Hi, my name is Luke, and this is my presentation on stress. These are the people in the call, or I mean in the Zoom. Okay. Sorry. Okay. First, to talk about stress. Stress is a big part of our lives. It's something that everybody goes through. It's something that everyone has to deal with, not only on a day-to-day basis, sometimes maybe not a day-to-day basis, but something that everyone frequently feels, whether it be at work, school, our personal lives. And the way we handle stress is very optimal for our health, success, and even our happiness. And reports show that more than three-quarters of adults have high levels of stress regularly, anxiety, depression, and it can lead to heart disease and reduced immune function and all of these things. And me personally, I tend to get stressed when my life is kind of packed. So I tend to get stressed at school, at work, when I have to pay my bills. All of these things just add up in my life. As you know, I work like 8 hours a day. I currently go to school, and every time that I have an assignment or a test coming up, I start to stress, and I personally, it's just hard for me. And individuals need to learn how to handle their stress and their stress management so that it can not only help them emotionally, physically, but it could also help them mentally. And and the number of people that encounter stress on a daily basis is just skyrocketing, and the strategies to help it are just not there for a lot of people. So I'm here to explain that the stress, how to cope with your stress. And according to the CDC, chronic stress has the risk of giving you high blood pressure, heart disease, a weakened immune system, and just making people susceptible to being ill. And stress also could lead to headaches. It could lead to poor sleep. It could lead to you being fatigued, and it just diminishes your daily life and the way that you can function. And it has a big part on our mental health. And 1 out of every 5 adults actually develop anxiety and stress, and it leads to mental health disorders. And that's something that obviously we don't want anyone to go through. We don't want to go through it ourselves. And so managing your stress will help you not have those problems in your life, and will help you not to have those things that bother you. And just unmanaging your stress, if it doesn't get too severe, it still has minor problems. It's gonna burn you out, give you a loss of motivation, can't really concentrate, and then it won't let you perform, let's say, highly at work or highly at school. And one thing for me, the way I like to view stress is, I would say it's like a backpack. You wear a backpack, you're fine all day, you're walking with your backpack, but as time starts to go on, you start to feel that backpack get heavy. And that's kind of like stress. You start to have a good day, things aren't going too bad, but once your stress starts to build up, it's like that heavy backpack. And so when you relieve yourself of the stress, you feel well, and you feel that you can go about with your day. And and the things that people do to have uncontrolled stress is for sure, let's say, a lack of time. It's for sure a lack of awareness or your knowledge. And it's access to coping with stress in an unhealthy way. So for example, let's say someone is stressing, let's say me personally, sometimes I like to eat junk food to cope with my stress, and it's just not a healthy way to cope with it. It's not something that you want to be doing. And it's something that could make it worse. And so some things that I would definitely say that can help you not stress as much, and to help you not really go through things, is definitely take your larger tasks and break them down into smaller pieces. Going into something very big and wanting to get it all done at once is very hard. And I would say making an organizer, organizing your apps, organizing your day, making everything planned out so that you know what you're doing. Meditation, deep breathing can definitely help you. And just taking short breaks throughout the day. So if something's hard here and something's hard there, just take a break. You can always relax and be yourself, and just take a break in something that you need. And living healthy, changing your food, changing your diet, exercising, definitely helps. It gets you moving, it gets that stress out of you. And I think that that's a really big thing. And so stress is very hard on people. It's something that we all deal through throughout the day, and knowing how to cope with it and knowing how to fix yourself really is better, so that you can not only better your mental health, but better you as a person with your success and your happiness. Thank you guys. Have a good day.